The incentives to incarcerate people are just huge. As a matter of fact, we found that across the United States, many of the smaller communities are being run, their main income is courts, fines, tickets, and fees. If you remember, just recently, the Department of Justice did an investigation in Ferguson, and they found out that in Ferguson and in the nearby town of Country Club, there were 3 warrants for arrest every one person. There were more 3 times as many warrants as there were people in this place. And most of them were petty crimes. You know, jaywalking, speeding. In Ferguson, they had like this area where there's 5 or 6 counties, and you're driving near the airport, and there's a road that goes off to each county, and they would have cars, police cars, parked there at every section. And at one point, there was a documentary where this one guy was driving through and was stopped and ticketed by 5 different counties. Just on his way to work. It's crazy. So they use these tickets and fees. Where I live at, right now in Eastover, the courthouse looks like a fish shack. It's like, you know, if you had $50, you could probably build something better. It literally looks that terrible. And every Wednesday, is it Wednesdays and Thursdays?
Thursday and Friday.
Every Wednesday and Thursday is filled with black people. Coming in and out, paying their fees and their fines, and they are the poorest of the poor. In that city, the average income is $11,000 a year. Who here can live off $11,000 a year? Probably nobody, right? But every Wednesday and Thursday is filled with bodies, paying their fees and their fines. This is how a lot of these communities are making their money. Ferguson was an example. Country Club was an example. Where I live at is another example. This is how they're doing it. And the judges that run some of this stuff, these magistrate judges, are just terrible. They're not even required to have a law degree. Not even required to have a law degree. There's one in South Carolina that was a former rat catcher. That was his job before becoming a judge. As a matter of fact, he's on record saying, if I can remember it correctly, I don't really care about the laws. I just go with what I feel. And if I feel somebody's wrong, then they're going to jail. And how can you even function in a community like that? You can't. Some of these courts, they call them tiny courts, are being held in people's garages, where the judge is literally holding court in his garage or in an office space in a building. They don't even look like courthouses. They're just anywhere you can do it. Just assembly line justice. And what happens to the people that go before these courts? Well, we all know that we have a constitution that guarantees us certain rights, right? One of those rights is the 6th Amendment. Is anybody here familiar with the 6th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution?
Speedy trial.
Guarantees you a fair and speedy trial, right? Well, let's talk about those fair and speedy trials. Right now, in the United States, 94% of all state felonies and 97% of all federal felonies end in a backroom deal called a plea bargain. Now, if 97% of the people are not receiving a trial, then where the hell is the right? You can't say it's the right and only 3% of the people are receiving it. And guess what 3% of the people that would be? Those who could afford it. So that is being violated every single day right here in the United States of America. 97% never receive a trial. You have public defenders in places like Louisiana, for example, who just cut their funding for public defenders that manage as many as 1,000 cases per year. 1,000 cases a year. You're doing like 5 cases a day like that. How can you possibly manage 5 cases a day? So what they're doing is they're walking up to these prosecutors who are making these backroom deals and going, here's my list of people, just give them a plea bargain. And that's the end of that. There's no representation going on. No fair and speedy trials. No jury of our peers. They're literally doing what these judges were doing. Put you in a court, charge you with something, say, here, take 20 years in prison because we're going to give you this felony charge, or take 10 years for a lesser charge. Your choice. There's nothing about, hey, we might be able to get you off of this. You should get a lawyer. We'll provide a lawyer so then you can get out of this ticketing scheme that's got you in here. Or maybe because, we caught you with a half ounce of marijuana that could cost you 20 years, you can get a lawyer to help you get none of that. It's just, how much time do you want? 10 or 20? 60 or 90? You remember Marissa Alexander, right? Miss Alexander, who was trying to defend herself, she fired a warning shot against an abusive husband, and they want to put her in jail for 60 years. Plea bargain is what she got. She got a plea bargain. That's how she got out. She wasn't proven innocent or anything like that. They gave her a plea bargain. They went from 60 years down to 20 years, and then with all the hoopla that was going on in the media, they decided, well, we're going to give you a better plea bargain than that. There's no such thing as justice in America.
Wasn't in Khalid Browder's case, wasn't it the reason he was in for so long was because he insisted on him having a trial?
Yes.
Yes.
He refused, and in the interviews that he's in, you can see, when you look him up, see the brother wrote his name down there. When you look him up, you'll see in his own words, that was what he said. That I would rather have a trial. They refused to give him a trial. They didn't even charge him 3 years. Some people spend as much as 2 years in jails. Now, it was mentioned in that other video about jails and prisons being a different thing. Some people spend as much as 2 years in jails because they can't afford to pay the bail.
Our
bail
son spent 3.
It's a terrible thing. Cash bail system with bail bondsmen who are nothing more than fugitive slave catchers out here hunting. You don't even need a license to be a bail bondsman nowadays. I mean, you can just call yourself Dog the Bounty Hunter, get you a gun, some nice clothes, bulletproof vest, and go out and hunt people and turn them in. There's only 2 countries in the whole world that does that. That's us and the Philippines. That's it. Every other country in this entire world sees that as exploitative, it's illegal, it's inhumane to send out these unlicensed people hunting those who have warrants. Remember I said in Ferguson and in Country Club they had 3 warrants for every person. So it's this huge industry of bail bonds. And when it comes to cash bail, there is no consideration for your economic condition. They will give the same amount of bail to a guy who has $10 million in the bank as they will to the homeless man. So if you're arrested on the same charge, for example, let's say a perfect example would be Sandra Bland. I'm sure everybody here is familiar with Sandra Bland, right? Well, remember when she was arrested, there was a recording of her on the phone with her mother going, I need to raise $5,000, Mom. $5,000. She just moved to Texas. She didn't have a job. Mother wasn't wealthy. But they're charging her $5,000 for a moving violation that never existed. We saw the video. The cop was right behind her and then charged her for not having her turn signal on when he was right behind her pushing her over. And then they're going to charge her $5,000 in bail. So guess what? How she's going to get that bail? She's going to go to a bail bondman, or would have went to a bail bondman and paid them 10%, $500, which again was something she did not have, and they would have put that $5,000 up. And if she skipped bail, that's when Dog the Bounty Hunter would have came looking for her. But she never made that. Allegedly hung herself in jail. I don't personally believe that for an instant. I know that in this country, there are 1,200 people who are murdered by cops every year. And in the prisons and jails, it's at least double that, if not triple that. It's very hard to determine how many people were killed by the guards in the jails because there really is no cameras watching like we have out here with our cell phones. There's no cameras watching. There's no oversight on that level. You can get away with murder. And there's literally a book written by a friend of mine by the name of Michael George Malencroft, I'm sorry, who wrote the book, How to Get Away with Murder, based on his experience as a psychologist in Florida prisons. While he was in there was a man, I can't remember his name, forgive me, but there was a man who was in the prison who was boiled to death by 2 guards in a shower, literally boiled to death. He had done something that he didn't like. So these 2 strong-armed guards put him in this shower, closed the door, turned the heat all the way up until his skin boiled off his body. And then he went and got other prisoners, made them come in and clean it up, and didn't even report it. George Malencroft was the man who reported it when he found out what was happening. They fired him for that. He can't get a job now. His only income is this book that he wrote. So when you start speaking about these things from the inside, they will ostracize you and make sure you never work anywhere else again. But they do know how to get away with murder. These prisons and these jails, they exhibit the same symptoms and the same circumstances that we had to deal with in the 1800s. There's brutality, there's sexual exploitation. 700 men are raped every day. every day 700 men are raped in this country in prisons. When that was addressed to the prison bureau, they was like, we can't do nothing about that. There's not enough money to prevent that. How are we going to prevent people from being raped in prisons? Well, let me tell you about those rapes as well that happens in prison, which is very similar to what was going on in the 1800s. There's a prison by the name of Tutwiler Prison out in Alabama. It's a women's prison. For the past 10 years, they have been molested, raped, and abused by the guards themselves. 50% of these guards have already admitted that they have done these things, and as far as I know, none of them have been prosecuted yet. They would have to trade blowjobs for toothpaste. They would have to trade sexual favors for tampons. They are being abused and mistreated right now in Tutwiler Prison in Alabama, and nobody cares because nobody knows. This is not information you find out just anywhere. They don't want you to know these things are going on all across the country in all these terrible prisons. Again, I'm a modern slavery abolitionist. I'm not talking about ending slavery in 1862. I'm talking about ending slavery right now. And I'm showing you how slavery is continuing legally. We're not talking about illegal slavery. We're talking about legalized slavery, where slave catchers, the police, who are literally the descendants of slave catchers, the police forces began as slave catchers and night watchmen and evolved from there. They're out hunting our men, women, and children, filling these prisons for profit where they are being abused and denied justice. And they are in there at numbers that exceed anything we have ever seen on this planet in the history of humankind. Ever. There has never been a time when there was 2.5 million people in cages and prisons alone, 13 million in jails, 8 million under supervision through probation and parole. Another, I think it's somewhere around 1.5 million involved in the juvenile detention facilities and the immigration centers. Those are numbers that are unreasonable. At the height of slavery, when the people were freed then, there was only 4 million people. 4 million. There's more than that to go through jails every year. And I know a lot of people say, well, if you hadn't done anything wrong, you wouldn't have been in jail. How often did you hear that? Right? That's always the reasoning. But I just explained to you, there's judges that are putting kids in jail for them scratching something on their desk or throwing a stick at their stepfather. And Sandra Bland, another example. Another example would be the 60,000 cases that's involved with one woman, Annie Dukin, with the crime lab technician, where she was making those incentives on false positives. Many of these people in there, by our estimation as abolitionists, are innocent, completely innocent. If I was to say, and let me be clear about this, because you've probably heard abolition before from prison abolitionists. I'm not a prison abolitionist. I believe that prison has a place in our nation. I believe that there are people out there who are freaking sociopaths and should never see the light of day again. That they have done terrible deeds and they deserve to be where they are at. But that population is about 25% of the entire total. 25%. So I'm saying that 75% of the people who are in prisons and jails right now shouldn't even be there. They should be free right now. So at the top of our list of things that we need to achieve, freedom should be it, right? Would you agree with me that if I said to you that there are 3 million people who are enslaved right now, we need to let them go? That should be at the top of our list of things to do? Well, there is, right now. Many people say to themselves, if I was alive in the 1800s of slavery, I would have did such and such and such and such. You ain't got to wonder if you was alive. You're alive right now when it's happening. The brutality is there. The sexual exploitation is there. The abduction of children, exploitation of children is there. The exploitation of families is there. The shackles, the chains, the bloods, the lashing, the murders are all there. You just have to be able to see it. So what I propose as a modern abolitionist is that we have to change our mind. We have to stop looking at these things as some kind of mistake or error in judgment. This is working exactly as it was supposed to work. It's doing exactly what it was meant to do. It's doing exactly what it was meant to do to the people it was intended to do it to. This is not a mistake. And we have to look to end this. You cannot reform a crime against humanity. You can't do that. You can't reform rape, you can't reform murder, you can't reform terrorism, and you certainly can't reform slavery. Am I right or wrong? So, what we're proposing is ways to end this right now. Through our own lobbying, we have managed to get several victories. One of the victories is I lobbied Senator Bernie Sanders myself. I met with his campaign managers. I went to his rallies. I talked with him. I talked with them, and I explained to them what was going on. I brought them a copy of Vermont is Ferguson, one of the reports that we had put out showing how Vermont prison system was operating and using slave labor and human trafficking. And they were like, Max, listen, you can't just put that stuff out there like that. We got a campaign going on here. You know what I mean? I'm like, well, I'll tell you what are you going to do with us? So we spoke, and within about a month or two, they came out with a bill that is in Congress right now called the Justice is Not for Sale Act. And what it does is end private prisons in the United States of America. It stops them from being able to function here. It makes perfect sense to me. There should be no incentive to lock people up. If you have an incentive to lock people up, then guess what's going to happen? It's going to keep growing and growing and growing. There's no reason for us to have private prisons in this nation. So the Justice is Not for Sale Act is in Congress right now. It ends private prisons. It also ends the monthly mandatory occupancy that are required in immigration centers, $34,000 a month, guaranteed every month. So that's one of the things that we have in Congress right now. We're trying to get some of these politicians to recognize that. We're also moving state to state to state, working with other organizations like Brother Lee Woods at CAPS Committee to End Prison Slavery, where states are putting in constitutional amendments to take the exception clause out of the state constitution. See, slavers have to be able to function legally in your state. And it says in your constitution, except for prisoners duly convicted, then they can function legally in your state and treat you like property. They can own you, they can exploit you, they can work you. But if you take that out of your constitution, now it becomes illegal. So right now in the ballot in Colorado, there is an initiative to remove their exception clause. Because Colorado was one of the worst offenders of all. Same thing is happening in Maryland and as well as Indiana. We have had these bills defeated a couple of times. It's not like we just put them out there and they automatically go through Congress. Usually it's because people don't know what's going on, or they're not interested in knowing what's going on. But there are initiatives in place right now to end what we call modern-day slavery through the prison industrial complex. I want to show you another video as well, one more, because I did tell you that slave labor is being exploited right now. So there's 1 million people who are working inside the prison for pennies on the dollar. In South Carolina, when they were making Victoria's Secret there, they were getting paid 23 cents an hour. 23 cents an hour. I mean, why would any company want to pay you $15 an hour when they can get the same services in a prison for 23 cents an hour? McDonald's uses prison slave labor. Burger King uses prison slave labor. Starbucks, Whole Foods uses prison slave labor. Even companies that you would never expected, like Boeing, uses prison slave labor. See, they're only interested in their bottom line. That's what they're interested in. That's why a lot of our jobs here in our factories moved overseas. Not because it was a better place to live, it was because the people there would work for 10 cents or 15 cents an hour. And here we had unions. We was like, no, we're not working for less than $15 an hour. But in India, they were like, give us that. We'll take it, 10 cents an hour. And they moved our jobs over there. Well, now they're bringing them back and they're calling it insourcing. That's the name of the new movement to bring jobs here to the United States inside the prison. Even companies like Verizon is using prison slave labor. If you have Verizon, for instance, and you have some problem with your phone, and you call up and you want to speak to a customer service agent, there's a good chance you're talking to a prisoner who's making 12 cents an hour for Verizon right now. They have commercials that they put out into the business industry, asking them, bring us your business. We got labor for you. And I'm going to play that for you right now.